So first of all, I actually jumped to another presentation. I want to say that everything I'm doing here comes from my previous life on cargo, but also my previous life in Vienna. So coming here, it kind of feels like coming back home. It's really good. I really miss the conversation, talking about decision tree, how to do the split. Those were the time. Yeah, it was wonderful. So good to be here. So currently I'm the VP of DevRel before. So developer relationship, I'm responsible for building, getting good people into the community, both either as a modeler or as a model validator, but also ecosystem builder. So people who build model, who build application that based on our model. So Frog is different compared to everything that's been presented today so far, in that we are not specialized in investment or trading or crypto investment or alpha, whatever, hyperliquid. We don't do that. Yeah. So first slide shows this. So we position to be kind of like a decentralized AI project that allow everyone to just quickly build model, enhance their model, but also get incentivized to contribute in the whole process of building model. I will go into some of these elements. So we do have an AI arena. So we do have a competition. But that's a structure quite different to Liberai. Some of the presentation coming up later, it's more similar to us. That we have some distribution of role quite similar to Picasso, for instance. We have what we call the Moonbase, which is a utilization platform for people to use our model. Also for model contributor to keep getting incentive once their model get used by the builders. The FL Alliance here is being built, so I won't talk too much about that, but I would like to say, just highlight that the FL stands for Federated Learning. So it's the kind of machine learning that you don't have to share all the data. So we have a heavy focus on privacy data. That gave us a pretty ideal situation to work with healthcare data, for instance, or data that you just want to keep secret. Insurance data for a while. This is kind of the overview of AI Arena in a very beautiful way. I won't go too much into that, except that we structure our AI Arena into different tasks. So you have tasks, and then you have trainer. So each one of you or us can be trainer, or each one of you or us can be validator. You can choose to become trainer or validator or both. Or you can also be what we call delegator. In a delegation mode, you don't, it's completely passive. So yeah, the ranking would, as a trainer, your model you get rank at the end of the task. If your model rank high, you get a little bit more incentive. If your state is high, you get a little bit more incentive. So for trainer, it's proof of rank, proof of less proof of work, proof of state. For validator, it's more proof of work and proof of state. Just using very familiar crypto term. I will move away from this. So I will move. So I will move away from this for now. I will come back to the arena. But this is just show you that what we do in terms of the arena. So this is a very again just impression type of image of Moonbase. This is coming on board. They keep saying this will be available in the next 2 to 3 weeks for the last 3 months, but I think this should come by the end of Q3. So this is a more a component of our platform that your model get to be utilized and you get incentivized. We already released the API platform, so some of the model that's already been trained in our previous task, you can now call those models and use it to do things. So those are all kind of model. It can be AI VC, advising you to invest in Bitcoin, or it can be KYC, bank KYC model, or it can be the latest task we're doing is carbon credit advisor. So that's for climate change. And why climate change? Because that's our, I would say, the most important partnership we're building at the moment. So I'll go back to that a little bit later, but just let you know, we do have a token. The token was launched at the beginning of the year, and I was one of the earlier test-led community members last year. And then I joined, and some of our friends here are also now on the vlog platform. You identify yourself, I'm not going to reveal, but yeah, some of you are doing very, very well. So we do have our tokenomic. You see the blue part here, these are the prize emission, these are the reward emission. The bottom here is not. Okay, so this is 5 years emission. The pink part is what we're using to enhance the ecosystem. So enhancing ecosystem could be incentivize you to do open source, special award for bug bounty, incentivize for hackathon, for instance. And hackathon do play an important role in our ecosystem building until now. Please.
Question. Why do team advisors first start building like a token based from like 12 months out? I guess it's like month on the x-axis there.
I would say it's above my pay grade, not my decision. I'm an AI guy first of all, and then I am a community guy, and then I am helping to build up the network. I can pass on the question to our economic builder.
I was just going to say that it's very common for token launches for team and advisors to have a lock period before their tokens unlock.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, like, you know, the team members and investors have to wait a year before their tokens unlock.
They have to wait for a year, and then you don't get it
Like
right
it
away.
says unlock schedule. Like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a years of unlock schedule. If you go on to root data have all the unlocking date, so you can have a look. And also, you can go on to CMC, CoinMarketCap to take a look. I will not talk about token price. So
I can.
you can. Talking. Okay. So move on. All right. So it's okay to talk about model building. It's okay to talk about ecosystem and community, but somehow we need to find a way to make our business case. So for companies like Numerai, for Yudo, maybe Forest AI too, you guys is very, very clear. You try to be part of the prediction market or prediction engine. For us, we are more positioned to be a generic AI provider. So we want to be a decentralized AI provider that disrupt, let's say, Web 2 and Web 3 in general. So, so we have a quite significant exercise in business development, in partnership building, in finance, in healthcare, retail, and governance. The team is the biggest component of the senior leadership team is actually from traditional banking, Bank of Canada. I myself have quite a long period in manufacturing, specifically Airbus, aerospace. So we have people from traditional sector. We have quite a strong academic presence within the team. So we also have very strong academic record. So because of that, I will skip this part. We can go back to this. So because of that, our currently the most significant partnership we're having is United Nations. So at the moment, I just finished managing 14 hackathon project with the United Nations. So this is like slightly different hackathon in a sense that United Nations would have their local specific problem with the country office, already with government involved, and then we pull in the builder, we pull in the advisor from the university and kind of work together with them to build We just finished the first round of the hackathon, and the next 3 months we're going to do another 7 projects in that, into accelerator stage. And then after that, some of these projects, hopefully a lot of them will be involved in our ecosystem using our frog token, but also using our model, would go into very specific use case, into their specific region. So some of the topic we can talk about is using NFT to help with gorilla conservation in Rwanda. We have another NFT project that help to the small craftsmen in Morocco to make better living. We have a healthcare issue in, I can't remember the countries, I think it's Mauritius. And then we have microfinancing project aiming for Latin America, and climate change related insurance project for, I think it was Peru. So we're really looking into using AI and blockchain to unlock those use cases. Typically for things like insurance, traditional finance, they don't cover that kind of risk, for instance. So those are also stuff that would have used AI capability. So that's where we are doing in a business sense and partnership sense. And we become the UN's blockchain advisory member starting next week. So I will be in New York next week. So this is partnership. This is how we're going to make our company to be viable and to be recognizable. I'm going to go away from that. That's a Korea drug discovery company. So we also have partnership in terms of drug discovery. I will move away from that because what I'm really interested to talk here is AI arena. So I just want to ask a question. How many of you have made submission or numeral? The one with the shirt. Almost everyone. And how many of you have made submission on other platforms? Kaggle or Bethesda? Bethesda? Okay. So we are talking the same language. So we do have a platform that's in many ways, again, similar to Bethesda. We have decentralized training in a sense that people get to use their own stack, they build their model, and then they will submit the model. We have a decentralized validation in a sense that we get people participating as a validator. They will run a piece of code to validate the model. We provide the central mechanism to distribute tasks to get score for each of the validator instance. And we use the federated learning mechanism to combine the score and give a fair score for each model submission. And then we have the dedicated population. As I said before, those are the ones who buy the token. They will stake either on the trainer or the validator, and then they get a passive return. So at the moment, I think this was pretty recent. Monthly APR for validators is about 5%. I think for dedicated, the average is something, at the moment, probably 65% per year. Trainer is higher than validator, I believe. So without diving too much into the code basis, most of our tasks at this moment are large language model fine-tuning tasks. So essentially, you get to pick from a different family of open source large language model. The MS5, the Q1, what's the one in Europe? Yeah, the Mistral, the German, for instance. The moment I stopped doing active competition, my brain get broken. So here is, I will let you come back to the presentation. So I have the arena example that allow you to use our API to pull the data set. to have the sample code to run the model, as well as explore the data, and then to make the submission. So the code is there. I don't think I need to go into that. I think you guys are much more happy if you just go on to the link and have a look at the notebook. And similarly, we have the validator example. So with the validator example compared to the trainer example, it's much more easier. All you need to do is buy a token, stake it, and run this. And then it will allow, it will basically run on its own, pick up model submission task on the platform, and do the scoring. We also run a Bethesda subnet. I don't want to be talking too much about the Bethesda subnet, except that our Bethesda subnet is a data selection problem, and I do have to manage the subnet. Bethesda is wonderful, but I also have some other opinion. For people who run Sport Tensor or have interest in how the tensor work, happy to have a conversation. What I would say, the biggest difference for us to Bethesda is our validator is a lot more wider. We have something like 70 validator on top. I think Bethesda active and genuine validator maybe 4 or 5 on the whole Bethesda ecosystem. So that makes a hell of a lot of difference. And being a subnet owner, I can only say it's very, very, very hard to influence the validator. So at least on our case, we always have validator there to do big work. Okay, lastly. So at the moment, if you want to make a significant impact on fraud and get very good reward, the entry barrier is quite high. Although with people who have significant Nimrai experience, significant cargo experience, who have done well, we will provide free stake one to you. So you can come and compete without risk, essentially. So come talk to me or sign up, please. So we are maybe the kindest data science platform. So why join us? First of all, try to do good, both in terms of privacy AI, but also try to make contribution to humanity. Secondly, so you have a choice of active modeling or passive automation. I mean, validator is very passive, but you do have the control cost. So I would say people with good automation skill set is very suitable for being validator, and it's a lot more lower entrance barrier compared to Tensor. So if you really don't want to bother, join as a dedicator, and there are again a little bit more subtlety in terms of how to delegate, who to delegate it to. I'm not going to cover that here, but do join our Discord community or connect with me. We can talk about that. We don't do token burn, so we won't slash your token. We do take a little transaction every time you take reward. It's very easy to set up, and again, already some very good overlapping with the Nimrai community, including myself. So I won't go into that. Question?
Yes, so as a validator, are you basically submitting your hardware to do validation? And if that's the case, do you get rewarded more if you've got like an 100?
No. It will be proof of work. That is the number of submission tasks you get to validate. And the distribution of the task is log statement, so it's run up. And what you need is to make sure you have enough VRAM. Yeah. A6000 is more than enough. In most cases. For now.
Can I also, because I'm also a validator, so some different tasks they got different time. Some of them
one more thing is the state is time weighted. So we will each of the tasks typically run for anything 3 to 4 weeks. The earlier you complete the state, those states count more. And we have a little bit more subtlety again in terms of how you stake, because you actually don't just stake frog. You buy frog, and then you stake frog into a utility token, and then that utility token get to stake on the task. But when you stake from frog to the utility token, you get a choice to decide how long you lock into your stake. The longer you lock in your stake, the more stake weight you get, essentially. So our token, I mean, some 64% of our existing circulation are in the utility token. So, yeah. Please.
How do you define tasks? Is it like in capital that there are some companies?
Similar partnership, identifying the problem, significant effort into. Depends on what kind of task pattern you have. Sometimes they have no idea, sometimes they are much more forward thinking, so that depends. Please.
Do you need the minimum stake to validate?
Yes. So the utility token I was talking about is called GM Frog. So at this moment, the minimum stake is, I think, 31,000 or 30,000? 30,000. So that converted to something like, if you stake frog for 1 whole year, similar to that. So you're going to stake 10,000 frog. I think today's price, that is what? 3,000.
You can talk about price, but
I can talk about price without adjustment, but you talk about price without adjustment.
So one frog is 0.34 US dollar right now. Yeah. That's it. That's what I want to say about price.
It is.
But yeah, you get frog from the open market, and then so the minimum entry right now is like 10,000 frog. So when you exchange that into 3,100 GM frog, and that could be used for staking. And then every day they calculate the reward, and the reward coming out is just frog, the original frog, which you can actually sell or restake if you want.
So yeah, we don't have lock-in for the reward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can get paid every day.
Right.
The other thing I want to say is we compared to Liberai, we are very young. I was in the testnet and the mainnet, it's alive for 10 months now. So a lot of things are still falling into place. Moonbase, as I said, they keep saying next week, but really it should come in the next, within the quarter. But we have very likely long LLM tasks becoming online. So time series, petition, instant, numerical petition, computer vision. We certainly will also open up task creation. So interested partner can come and just create a task based on certain term and condition. Yeah. So please.
How is it you have a server outage in between when it's processing a task? Do you get penalized for that, or is it cover?
As a validator,
Yes.
you
get the reward for the
don't
day.
get a reward for that day. Yeah. Yeah. You do have to pay attention to how your validator instance is running. Another question?